because since we didn't have a family reunion, I had to go live with different family members in order to get that part of the family's piece to the puzzle to put the family back together.
Mm.
So I went to stay with members of both sides of the family, my mama's side and my daddy's side. They all, I'm the most loved, most respected, or the most despised and most rejected.
Mm.
So since I'm the most loved and respected out of all of the motherfucking despised and rejected, that make me be the black sheep out of all of the black sheep that the black sheep love the most. And that's how you get to be a chief on the land.
But that's the other thing is like, because, okay, so how can I put this in words? We have to have enough humility to be able to see our elders and respect them as such, because
Yeah.
people are appointed for a reason in the season, and we have to you have to respect that. You have to respect your position and play your position, and everybody's not a chief. Some of us are Indians, and you got to be okay with that. And you got to knock that
Yeah.
jealousy out the window. And, you know, for anybody who doesn't have that big mama or that family to go to, then you got to start looking for those role models and elders to have that family reunion with.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of us hold on to childhood grudges that if you was an adult, you would have made a similar decision yourself,
Mm-hmm.
all things being considered. But people hold on to the childhood grudges.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, like, I don't blame a molested child for never forgiving their molester.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna never tell them to do that. But for the kid that got the ass whooped for being a little badass kid, you probably didn't get enough ass whoopings. That's probably why you ended up where I was at.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got no motherfucking sympathy for that shit. It's part of life.
But that's where accountability comes in, because you have to be able to say where you did wrong and where you did right, where you fell short and where you succeeded or exceeded. But you have to have
Right. And
enough.
that's the part of shadow work that everybody fear. Because when they realize that they ain't no better than you, then they trying to put you down, that means that they really was putting themselves down the whole time.
Right. And that's what I was talking about earlier when I was like, giving the analogy of Moesha, like in doing that healing work. When we talk about the flipping, that healing work is important because all of that muck, it fucks with your decision making skills.
Hmm.
So you got to do the shadow work. You can't run from it,
Yeah.
because really you
But
running from the light when you run from the shadow work.
don't nobody want to say, look, we drive up to the stop sign at the same time. Motherfucker scream out the window, stupid motherfucker. Right? We both just pulled up to the fucking stop sign. And we both stopped. Who is really the stupid motherfucker? Why do I even need to respond at that point? He just proved that he was the one who was really the stupid motherfucker.
Yeah.
He was mad because he wanted to run the stop sign, but when he seen me stopping at the stop sign, he knew he couldn't run it because it's a possibility I might run it.
Mm-hmm.
So now he got to stop. And since we both stopping, it's my fault that he had to stop when he wanted to run the stop sign. So his natural presumption is that I'm the stupid motherfucker, when he's the stupid motherfucker for being mad because he had to stop at a stop sign.
Right.
You knew it was a stop sign there before you got there,
He forgot the
motherfucker.
rules of the engagement. He wanted to ignore them. You can't ignore the rules. In nature, when you ignore the rules, there's two things: life or death. In nature, when an animal ignores the rule of the kingdom, it's a consequence. Animals in nature I love so much because they live
Hey,
life
look,
in the natural way that life is supposed to be lived.
I'm about to say some racist ass shit. But
No.
this the truest shit a motherfucker could say. All you gotta do is watch these white people. He's just a little cute grizzly bear, only 400 pounds. Let me hug him. He's wild. He's never seen humans before. I know I can hug this motherfucker. Nigga, you gonna go sit your ass down somewhere?
Look.
With that 10 swords.
Yeah, the bear is gonna kill your ass. No.
Hell yeah. Uh, hey, look, that's a confirmation like a motherfucker.
That's funny. Spirit is funny. Spirit is funny. Spirit got jokes. And that's why I think sometimes we lose compassion, because Spirit got a sense of humor. And that's why we laugh at a lot of things that are painful. But we gotta reel that in, because like maybe I don't know where that started, but that lack of compassion, man, it creates so much other shit, because you laugh at somebody going through some pain and now they giving you the evil eye.
Mm-hmm. But the lack of compassion was taught to us.
Right.
It took harsh circumstances with no relief in order to make us not care what your struggle was. That means that they had to stop us from helping each other overcome the struggle to build a barrier between us.
Right.
You seen me struggling, trying to change the flat tire, and you kept going.
Right.
Right? You know what you saw. You know what you felt by keep going, and you ignored all that shit in order to not offer aid and assistance. Right? So when you see me again and you changing your flat, I remember when you drove past me.
Right. But see, the fucked up part, like you said earlier, is like when you found out that the people who did us dirty look just like us. It's like we're all mad at each other, thinking that it was each other, and really it was them. Like
The
you
whole
said, the
time.
separation, the whole
Yeah.
time, and they are banking on the fact that we'll have that prejudice and separation in our minds so deep that we'll knock each other off. Then it can release the robots.
So when you review history, look at the public display, right? When you look at the images from parades of the UNIA and the activities of the MSTA in 1920s, you see all our faces. We all hanging out of windows and shit. We knew who we was, but we didn't know what to do about it. Right? Now, when you get in the 50s and we start talking Rosa Parks, refusing to get up on the bus, marching with King, you see a sea of pale faces right in there with brown faces. When you go back and research all of the uprisings, you see that all of the ones that look like us, Gabriel Prosser, Denmark Vesey, etc., was egged on by a pale-skinned European to get their freedom back. And one of them, I think it was Gabriel Prosser, had the quartermaster general who had access to the armory, bringing him the key to the armory to arm the people to fight against the rebellion. I mean, against the invader. Then some nigga told the enemy, told on the pale face, and told on Gabriel Prosser. It's in the books. It's not a secret.
A sellout.
Yeah. Every single one of those attempts where that we were being egged to get out of this condition by pale faces, we was betrayed by melanated, woolly-haired faces. All of the ones on record. The only one that wasn't betrayed immediately was Toussaint. When they murdered him, that's when they infiltrated.
That was a stronghold.
Right. And now they don't want to close the conjure because that means that they lose all power.
Mm-hmm.
They got to close the Haitian conjure, and Haiti keep getting hit with shit because they got an open war conjure that's over 200 years old. At the close of the age, that shit has to be closed out.
Mm. Okay. Hmm. What can I
But
do
there's
for
some
the
motherfuckers that look like us that's trying to stop everything.
Mm-hmm.
They can't stop nothing though. You know what they is. It ain't no secret no more. The secret that they had ain't no secret no more. Now they exposed to the public. Now they got to get exposed publicly.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck them. I don't got no. I don't got no sympathy for them
But what? Why? Why did they do it?
because they wanted to claim Earth for their own. They ain't from here.
So,
They was
okay.
a different species, similar to
No, so
us,
I know that.
from a different type of universe.
Okay, so I know that. So then when they came here, they had to take the form of
The
like
highest evolutionary
that.
um, organism on the planet, which
Yes.
was the melanated,
Yes. Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
right?
That makes sense. And we were peaceable people, just like in the Bible when they talk about what was it? Was it Babylon? No.
We was look,
Before
we
Babylon?
still warriors, right? But we had ran out of wars to fight
Right.
because we had got so intelligent that war was like asinine, foolish, and childish.
We had come to that
That's how it
level of
evolved,
right
right?
consciousness.
So the golden age has to bring this back to the surface so that we know the level of potential our mind have in order to move into a golden age again.
Mm,
Because that's where we're going. And the sun cycle brings the golden age.
mm,
In the Jubilee year, 2022 is the Jubilee year. It's the final closing out of all of the contracts that held people hostages and enslaved.
mm,
By the close of the year, there will be no more contracts that's open.
mm-hmm.
They'll all be closed. And
Mm.
the only thing we're going to have to work on is getting Haiti to close that war contract.
Okay. So I had a dream a long time ago, and it was of Oya, and so I know that they're a dying breed, but it's just like um, the reason why I pitch community and unity so hard is because, like you said, they separated us and they lied to us so we could fight off each other and kill off each other. Um, but that artificial intelligence and like that, everybody is so big on having the newest Tesla and all of these things. Like, I hate to sound so old school, but I just feel like um, they are that's their last hoorah.
Okay, so what they did, this is what make it difficult for us to face the short struggle we gonna go through. We gonna get this struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gonna get this work.
Mm. Because it has to be
Yeah,
in
ain't no
plans anyway. So it's like,
the level of your preparedness gonna determine how much of this work your ass gonna get.
yes, sir.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So when the system shut down, don't say we didn't tell you. Don't say you didn't have a chance to prepare, because I've been telling motherfuckers for 3 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I laid down the structure of the fall so that motherfuckers don't step into the road and a building drop on his head. Right? This shit is over with. But in the process of it, you still got to clean up the old shit before you break out the new shit.
Right.
Because you need to know what part of the old shit has to go and what parts you can use even if it's temporarily. Because you got to use anything that's useful.
Right.
And anything that's not useful, you discard that shit. This is why we say no more GMOs in the food,
And
right?
mhm.
So they burning down the factories that making the GMO food. One of Gates' motherfucking manufacturing facilities just burned up overseas yesterday. You know, so we not watching those little events like that, like Rome on fire. You know, the time, the date, what's going on in the world politically, what's going on across the land socially, right? If you don't pay attention to that stuff, you can't see it. But if you see it, the people that's not paying attention is gonna say that you don't see what you're telling them because they can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the glasses on.
Yeah. You
And somebody said, "Don't forget to read that card
know,
that you must have
there
pulled.
wasn't
You
there
pulled a
wasn't no
card."
yeah I have been you know just when like I was talking stuff was coming out confirming but
Now listen now, they expect us to believe the story.
Right.
They expect us to believe this. He's walking around in the caves with a portable dialysis machine.
Facts.
A portable dialysis machine is like dragging a whole stove around with you.
Real talk.
People not paying that no attention.
And then, like, you know, shit, that nigga was a billionaire. Like, you feel, not a millionaire, a billionaire. His family was rich and everything.
If you go back and do the research, the Bush family and the Bin Laden family has been in the oil business together since the 40s and 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bin Laden family, Osama bin Laden was the boogeyman that they wanted everybody to look to when they was robbing us.
Right. Try to put it off on him.
Right. See, the corporation ended in 1999, but didn't nobody have the jurisdiction to process it.
Mm.
Because didn't nobody organize the chiefs on the land by public notice until I did it. That's why it was so important to learn civics, to understand how to do public notices and shit, so that you know how the oral tradition override they written shit. Because the oral tradition is our agreements on the land is how we practice our law.
Right.
Right. So my clan, we follow the laws set forth by Larry Hoover and them back in the day. Right. So now they gave us a written code to follow. But our written code has nothing to do with the government. It's tribal. Whereas on the West Coast, they got an oral tradition. The OGs have to clear it before the YGs engage in the activity.
Right.
Now, I have to be in tune with the Crips, just like I'm in tune with the folks in Chicago, to understand how the tribes are communicating so we can get the message through all the tribal networks. We're on the same page now. Time to get the imposters out.
Right. And I be seeing that shit in the West Coast and in the East Coast, even down south, you feel me, about, you know, GDs, Bloods and Crips, you feel me, peace treaties, and that shit actually working. But in Chicago, it ain't gonna never be no, like, it ain't gonna never be no peace amongst like the GDs and the BDs. It ain't like, it's different in Chicago, but it's like everywhere else they can come together.
It will be. It
will be. So, bro.
It will be.
Unfortunately,
but
Chicago
Chicago
got a dark cloud over it, and
that's But when they find out who behind the cause in the war, it ain't even us.
Exactly, it ain't. But it's like, you're right. It ain't us, but it's like, you know, it's levels of hell. You feel me? Just like it's hierarchies of hell, like hierarchies of demons, different ranks of angels. You got different levels of hell. This earth is a fucking hell. You feel me? This continent is a different level of hell. The states now.
I think this shit heavy.
The city of Chicago, that's like the lower levels of hell, G. Like, for real. And it's not because of us, like you said. It's because the devils that created the cities, which is a Babylon. You feel me? It's because of them.
They
So,
took over the cities. They didn't create them. Those are metropolises that's ancient. They just
mhm,
altered the, they just altered
you're
the
right.
way that we did business on the land.
So from my understanding, you know, that's why I call that's why I call it Babylon, because of Babylon is the cities that were built after colonization. So like you got
You ain't got no
colonizers,
problem. I ain't got no problem with that. But Babylon fell.
Babylon, man, bro. I don't think Babylon fell as long as the cities being built. You have city owners. You
You're
have
not
you have
watching. Chief, you're not watching.
I really I pay it. I don't really be like nah. I'll be I'll be behind on a lot of shit,
Look,
bro.
the banks is closing. The hospitals are shutting down their electronics that affects the equipment and the IT shit. Right? You got a motherfucking receding tide that been out for goddamn 3 days in the Gulf.
Yeah.
Probably longer than that now.
hmm
That shit got to come back. The longer it's out, the worse it's gonna be when it returns. Because
I
the
would
water
say
it
like
got to go somewhere. It ain't just disappeared.
it do. I would say like okay, so like you got colonizers. Colonizers come to foreign lands, and then you have people, natural people that's live inside of those lands that take care of nature. The colonizers come through, they tear down nature, and then build their cities up. North America, this continent was a forest. We have forests and woods over here. We didn't have jungles. You feel me?
Look,
But it was all nature. The colonizer come through, tear down nature, and build their cities up. Along with their cities, they bring systems, which is religion, slave system, which is the modern day work system. They bring all nationality because the colonizers put nationality on not you already know, bro. Put nationalities on our indigenous ancestors, but this what I'm saying, like Babylon's is anything that's not dealing with the natural people and in the natural order of life. There's no way we should be working jobs. There's no way there's only 13 families that hold all the wealth and we have poor people. Like mental illness don't exist in nature. Like indigenous people don't have mental illness problems. Poverty don't exist in nature. You feel me? You know, there may be a class ranking system, but it's like I'm talking about the indigenous people that's the closest to nature. You know how close they is to nature if they don't speak in language and they still speaking in sounds and clicks. These are like natural people. Like they will be the closest to Big Mama if anything. So it's like since we got cities that's